with you about an interesting subject that says, am I a problem? Now check, I'm saying, am I a problem? Because I want to speak particularly and specifically to somebody who says, I have been in one relationship to another relationship. And not only that, I have been to one relationship to another once or twice, but this has happened a number of times. And seemingly it looks like there is a pattern. It looks like there is a certain way in which things happen. Now, this person realizes that in the past and in my history, I can tell, I don't know how it happens, but I am sure that I move from one relationship to another. And it's not like I do that because I want to or because I'm a bad person. But truth is, I find myself there to a point that at times I wonder, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Why I'm moving from one relationship to another? And not only that, I move from one relationship to another. Everything that's nice, well, smooth, lovely. But before I know it, things begin to fall apart. Things begin to tremble. Before I know it, the entire relationship is shaking. The foundation is no longer there. And here I'm talking about a person who really does everything or almost everything to their satisfaction to ensure that they stay in this relationship. But truth is, before they know it, the relationship is gone. Now, every time this happens, this is what happened. This person asks himself or herself, am I a problem? I want to talk to you. You ask yourself, am I a problem? Because every time a relationship doesn't work out, you sit down, you cry, you mourn, and eventually you accept that the relationship is no longer there. But this question remains, am I a problem? I want to talk to you. Look, let me get straight to you. These are things that I will need you to do for me. Number one, get a pen and a paper. I need you to do some writing for me. This is what number one I want you to write. I want you to answer this question. Who are you? And to answer this question, I need you to write 20 things or more for me. For example, you will say, I'm a good person. That's number one. Number two, I'm a loving person. Number three, I am faithful. Number four, I'm a promise keeper, or I keep my promise. Now, do that. Give me 20 or more. I know that it might not be easy for you to do that initially, but I want you to push yourself. Number two, I need you now, because you are done with number one, to say, who am I? Now I want you to imagine yourself as a person you want to be. So the second question is, who would you like to be? So in other words, if you know that you struggle with, let's say, with short temper, and you would write down something like, I am not short-tempered, or you should say, I able to deal with my short temper. But also another thing that you may write there, you may say, if you know that you struggle with communication issues, that you have so much secrets up within you, you may write something like, I have no secrets. I tell the truth. I'm open. I'm transparent. So basically, you want to say something that is opposite to who you are, to your personality. Now, to to speaking to a person that you would be, that you believe that if you can have these traits, if you can have these things in you, a new you will be able to deal with this issue of you finding yourself from one relationship moving from it to another. But the last thing that I need you to do for me is that now I need you to write down again 20 things to say, how can you become a person that you want to be? In other words, you may say that I need to do some reading. Why you do some reading? Because reading will make you to be able to forgive. How so? Because when you read about other people who were struggling with the issues of forgiveness, but they were able to overcome it. So now that can be the first point, that I need to read about this area. If you're struggling with forgiveness, you will read something, just short thing about forgiveness. If you're struggling with pain, you will study with that. If you're struggling with finances, you will study with that, so that now you empower yourself. Because let me tell you, for you to overcome anything in this life, it's a question of self-development. Remember, we do that continuously. But in closure, I want to tell you, you are not a problem. It could be that there are certain things, certain areas that you need to work on that may contribute in one way or the other to seeing you moving from one relationship to another. But still, you are not a problem. Having said that, that's why I said I need you to write who you are. 2, who would you like to be? 3, what would you do to be who you want to be? Why is that important? It's because I need you to be faithful with yourself and to work with yourself, because that will vary, that will differ from one person to another. Different people will deal with different challenges, and they will have to, whatever they will have to do, they will have to do in relation to who they are and what they struggle with and what they are good.